Can I share my screen?
I think I need to allow you. Do you have the option?
Disable.
I now allowed you to share your screen.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Today I will talk about an amazing topic, which is about 4 habits of all successful relationships. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
To introduce this topic, we have some points. First of all, these habits are very important for all of us. Every one of us should start to learn and practice these habits in order to be able to get an amazing and successful relationship. So the presenter or the speaker suggests that people who have successful relationships are not just lucky people or chosen ones, but in reality, successful relationships take work. But the great news that when I studied these habits, I found that it's easy for any one of us to learn and practice them. But before discussing the habits, the speaker gives a hint about bad effects of divorce and family breakdown, reporting that children whose parents separate, almost 50% of them have mental health problems. And of course, their childhood can't be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Divorce and family breakdown can happen as a result of many reasons, or a result of some hurdles that fit the relationship, such as trust issues and respect issues, poor communication, and unmet expectations as well.
Mm.
And there is no doubt that family breakdown is an immense problem, and that success comes from being equipped to deal with these hurdles smoothly without causing frustration and wars between
Mm-hmm.
partners. So these habits can save families and can be, we can say, like fences at the top of the cliffs for the relationship. Now let's start finding out these habits. Habit number 1: be curious, not critical. And this habit is about investing time to understand that we are different from each other, and we have to learn how to deal with our differences rather than wasting time and energy criticizing them. Uh, we are, as we all know, no one was perfect. So we can't only look to negative sides, but we should see positives and the beauty too. And now let's move to habit number 2: be careful, not crashing. This habit helps us to get over the hurdle of poor conflict resolution styles. As the speaker said, the speaker sees, and I agree with him, that we should get rid of our natural fight or flight responses. We should take care of each other. We shouldn't be selfish in the relationship. We should to take care of each other and our interests. We have to learn how to behave in conflict situations, and we should agree and decide some points that control our anger in conflict situations. For example, it's not allowed to leave home or mention divorce. It's forbidden to hit each other, and so on. Absolutely, as a human beings, we must argue and frustrate each other from time to time, because we are not perfect. But this habit number 2, teaches us how to argue well and how to work together to come out stronger together, and how to treat each other with care. So it's time to move to habit number 3, ask, don't assume. This habit helps us to get over the hurdle of frustration that frustration that comes from mistrust and disrespect that can creep into the relationship after a period of time. Of course, we have different perceptions of respect in our relationships. Maybe our expectations are not suitable for the other, or maybe our expectations can't be found in reality. So the speaker suggested that we can hold some courageous conversations that enable us discussing, that give us the chance for discussing and asking, rather than assuming and stereotype. And for me, I advise everyone, never assume negative intentions of your partner. In other words, don't judge until you ask and understand. Moreover, don't expect that your partner will do something and then be disappointed if he don't do. Now, last but not least, the habit number 4, connect before you correct, which is about learning how to communicate real value and appreciation. In fact, we need to deliberate about finding ways to create smooth warmth in the relationship. Here is a great advice for everyone who is in a relationship. You must break the routine, especially after a long period of workshop and work time. Otherwise, you will risk losing the magic in the relationship, and your life will round just between work and talking about the children, cooking, laundry, and so on. At the same time, we should remind ourselves of how much we value the other from time to time. We must show the others that we value him. And remember, people go where they feel welcomed, but stay where they feel valued. It's a very good statement that I have admired. Finally, to conclude this interesting topic, we can say that practicing and developing these habits can save lives. So all of us should start to learn and practice. We should start to change our mindset and equip ourselves for amazing and successful relationships using these habits from now on. Thank you.
Amazing, mashallah. Great job. Great job, Miss Soham.
Thank you, Mrs. Ra.
The comment that I had from the first project is the poses that I can clearly see that they're not there anymore. I can see that the excellent preparation, the wonderful use of vocabulary, the grammar accuracy, which and but to whose because a lot of compounded complex sentences, a lot of linking words and transitions. So all in all, the presentation seemed very coherent. Like first of all, moreover, these transitions made the presentation, in logical and very rational. The good lexical resources, I loved the word hurdles. You were able to recycle a lot of words and ideas as expected from the video. I love the intonation because while she's presenting, of course, she might be, somehow shaking or she's not very, she might be. But the thing is that her intonation, the tone of voice, how she's using it in a very incredible way, and it's something that we acquire from the more we shadow, the more we get, an excellent intonation. The word immense also is a very good word. You recycled a lot of ideas from
أنا
the
كنت
video.
مرتبة إن أنا هفتح الكاميرا كمان على فكرة.
Why didn't you do
بس
it?
حسيت إن كله قافل يعني الكاميرا وأنا لوحدي،
No,
بس
please
بجد
do.
كنت حقيقي مرتبة إن أنا هفتح الكاميرا وأعمل تعبيرات بقى بإيدي ووشي كده.
Well, I'd love to see that. So, yeah, guys, don't worry. For the people who ask me about the camera, I don't want to stop them because it's not the end of the world. But of course, if you turn it on, that would be beautiful. However, you did a great job. Clear pronunciation features. You haven't mispronounced any words except for the word percent. Percent, مش percent. Percent, cent. Energy. Energy. Type one grammar mistake when you said if he don't do, and you stopped for a second as if there's something wrong, but you didn't correct it. If he doesn't do it.
Yes.
I loved the linking sounds. I loved that there are no mistakes, especially that the repeated mistakes, the constant mistakes that happen several times. What happened? I mean, the mistakes that we have here haven't been repeated, so there are no fossilized mistakes, which means that the language fundamentals and the language basics and what you know about the language now is fine. That can be recycled several times. I also admire something, the rephrasing skill. It's really nice when you have like a code or a statement and you say in other words and you start rephrasing what you have maybe stated before. That shows a lot about your language level. That shows you have a lot of ideas. You have good different vocabulary, language alternatives that you can use to explain something. So in itself, it's a very precious skill. So all in all, I can see that you have worked on the point that I have pinpointed before, and I would just ask you to keep shadowing Ms. Suha because this is amazing work. I'm so proud of you, and I should
Thank
be
you.
sharing this with Dr. Asma. Thank you so much, Ms. Suha.
Thank you, Mrs.
Thank
Ra.
you so
Thank
much,
you.
my dear. I'm not sure who to ask next, but I have tendency to ask Ms. WM. I'm so excited about your presentation, Ms. WM.
Hello, Mrs. Isra.
Hello, dear. Here we go.
Excited to I'm convinced about ان انا اعمل shadowing زي ما
Let's do
فاحنا
it.
زي ايه
I'm okay with it.
okay. Okay. Today's topic it's about raising your productivity. Its title is Three Rules for Better Life Balance. It's for Ashley Williams. She's expert in this. Okay, our life is filled with million small interruptions, even if our days is off. sometimes we taken a call at the beach, or texted our boss at a grocery store, or while we are on the picnic, we receive a call from a friend. These small interruptions, we convinced ourselves it's no big deal. It's just one email or one call. All these in total affect our life, our daily. She told us about this topic in one study. Do you hear me, Ms. Isra?
Yes.
I feel
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, what's wrong? It's breaking up sometimes, I think. But I can still hear you. Okay. Connect your audio, yes. Go ahead.
Now, do you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
very
okay.
well. Yeah, go ahead.
The internet. Okay, she told us about some studies. In one study, people who were visiting a science museum with their kids, they are told, some of them told to use their phone as much as possible. Others were told to check their phone as little as possible. After the visit, parents who were checking their phones more time, they felt much lonelier, and they felt that the visiting wasn't good as they expected. In another study, some tourists were visiting an iconic church. They told them or asked them to have their phones out while they're visiting. Those tourists, after a week later from the visit, they remembered a fewer details from that visit. And Ashley Wellens told us about her study. She told us about workers who paid for their performance. They spent much time or more time interacting with clients and colleagues, but less time interacting with their friends and families. Okay, the constant creep of working into our lives, it's affect our relationships and our how we deal with our families. She found herself focusing on these interactions while important life moments. She found herself texting a client while her first child first ultrasounds. So she was a guilty mom, but a happy client. So what is the need for that? When you add all your interruptions moments, the sum total is a life shortchanged on meaning and happy and joy and connection. She told us about now it's the opportunity to have a mindset or to change our mindset to respect time. And she told us about 3 strategies. The first strategy, to reframe rest. When all of us hear the word rest, it sounds amazing, but we felt that we will immediately lose our productivity or letting down our colleagues in work. But the word rest, it's good. It's a very good word that we need to act with it. It's a normal action to have a rest. Maybe treat your upcoming weekends. It's like a holiday. Put a plan to have on your holidays. The plan doesn't need to be expensive or extravagant. create clear boundaries about your limits in the vacation. Not tell them to slack me whenever you want, but put clear boundaries that you slack me or text me if it's urgent.
Mm-hmm.
To reframe your limits for rest, for the word rest. The second strategy that she told us about, to set team goals for your personal time. You and your colleagues must respect your personal time. Work together and set team goals for your personal time. The last strategy that she told us about it, negotiate for more time. In her classes, she told her students to negotiate for a better salary, but never ever she told them for negotiate for more time. If you have a flexible time to send your work, negotiate for more time. It's all about the quality. The metric is about the quality, not all the time. It's not being on date or on the same time that you requested to be on it to it's all about the quality.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the topic.
I loved it. I loved it. I love when people are just speaking. Just speaking. So that's what you were trying to do. Inshallah, very good intonation. You've been quite confident, very natural using the language, different grammar structures. And the thing that I loved the most about grammar is that you haven't had any mistakes, which is
Thank
very
you.
positive, very positive. Extravagant refrain, a lot of good vocabulary that you have added and you have recycled. You recycled the ideas, very organized, despite the fact that you're not relying on scripted thing. That you also went, logical and all in all, it sounded very organized for me. Convinced. After the
Convinced.
sound, convinced.
Okay.
Museum, not museum, museum,
Okay.
and immediately.
Okay.
Amazing, Miss Wim. Thank you so much. Perfect job.
Texted or texted.
Texted after the ta sound, ed ed.
ده القاعدة بتقول كده، بس هي في الشادوينج لا، هي بوضوح بتقولها تكسد.
I don't know. Where is she from?
شككتني في نفسيتي.
No, texted. Texted? No, texted?
Texted.
No, that sounds
Okay. Grocery store, is it right?
Yes.
Grocery store. Okay. Thank you,
Bravo.
Mrs. Ra.
Great job, Miss Wim. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Who's next? Who wants to present next? Who's in? Should I pick? Miss Iman Musa. Are you in, Miss? أنا ما جاهزة أصلا. How about Miss Aya told me you're not ready. How about Asma Eid? Come on, ladies.
Okay.
Go ahead, dear.
Today I'm gonna speak about building connection with other people. So before I start, I will ask you a question. If you have a chance to travel to Maldives Island, but you will live alone forever, you will travel or not?
I will.
Yep. Answer.
No, of course
You
I will
have
not.
to answer no.
No, I will not. No, for
Yeah.
sure I'm not.
For me, no, I will not do this because we are a social person, a human being. We need people in our life.
Mhm.
So you are never lonely if you can connect. The speaker of this presentation, which is called Roseanne, her father had to leave China to live in USA
Mhm.
when he was 10, and he will live in a land full of strangers, but he never was alone
Mhm.
because he had an amazing ability to connect with other people.
Mhm.
He could make relationships with other. He can share everything, so he wasn't a lonely person. in my point of view, family didn't have to be about blood relation. No, family was something we can create. Okay?
Mhm.
Building connection can take time, effort, commitment, courage, but it's important in your life. You have to do this. So I will give you some steps to how to be a relationship ninja. Okay?
Okay.
Number one, know yourself. If you want to have a strong connection with others, you have to strongly know yourself. Know what you like, what you don't like, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. You have to improve yourself by your focus on your strengths and improve your weaknesses points. So you have to do this before to make any connection with others. You have to make a connection with yourself, to accept your appearance, to accept your looks. For instance, once I was a child, I was being bull, bullet, bullet,
Polite
yeah, bullet,
or
polite, yeah,
bullied?
polite, no, not polite,
Y-
bullied,
You mean bullied?
bully,
Yes.
bully, yeah, bullied, bullied by my friends
Mm-hmm.
because I have a dark skin
Mm-hmm.
and I cried. But when I came back to my mom and she told me, you have to accept yourself, you have to accept your appearance. So from this time or this moment, I started to focus on my strengths. I have a sense of humor, so I focus on my sense of humor when I interact with other people. And I have a lot of friends. Number two, don't take anything personally.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take it. What people say as much as kind of hurts you. No, it's not about you. It's a reflection of their way of thinking, their way of acting. It's an emotional state of this moment. It's not about you. So for instance, I was sitting in my room, and my sister entered my room, and she said, "I have I know your brother's secret, and I have this secret. I will tell you about it."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "It's okay." I listened to her, and after she has done, uh, she looked at my eyes and said, uh, uh, "Be careful, don't tell anyone this secret because you have a big mouth." And I was shocked about this. You have this, not me.
Yes.
Come on. So, so if you have this situation, you have two options. Option number one, you will hit your sister. Option number two, you will talk with a person who you trust in this person and say the story for him, because to give you the self confidence, you are not that person.
Mm-hmm.
So number three, bad vibes. When you see someone, you will say, "She gives me a bad vibes," or "He gives me a bad vibes." But in reality, no. When you saw someone, you decided, "I don't like them," and you labeled him in with a bad vibes. But
Mm.
in reality, you have to take 1 minute or 2 minutes to think what that person did anything for me to say this.
Mm-hmm.
In reality, he don't do anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to change your way of thinking. Finally, judgments and assumption. Okay, I think all of people hate judgments. You have to avoid these words. He should, must. If I were you, I will do this and this. Don't say this. You have to focus in your life, and that's it. Okay, all of us, we love to create stories. I think we create over 50 stories a day about ourselves, our family, our friends, even strangers in your mind. This story are in your mind, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have to stop this. A lot of people don't appreciate to be judged or to have assumption about them or something like this. No, if you have, it's okay to be honest with people. If you have something to say in people, say it in a simple way. Thanks. I have finished.
Amazing. Very good. Okay. The thing that I love the most is your intonation. Your rising and falling intonation is going accordingly with the meaning of the sentences that attracted the attention of me as a listener and made me all the time, being alert to what is being said. So your intonation is really good. You can keep this. If, when, before, and because, a lot of compound and complex sentences, that was really good. You linked the sounds very well, so I didn't feel that the sounds were detached. You added your opinion, which something I love when you guys are presenting, adding your opinion or giving yourself time to reflect on whatever is being said. That is a very precious thing because it's a fresh vocabulary. It's your opinion. We again, after all, we are learning speaking because we would like to talk about ourselves, what we believe in, what we don't believe in, our future goals. So it's you that is being the core of the speaking. So giving or allowing yourself to do so is miraculous. I loved how organized you were. I loved how you moved from one to two to three. I love the good grammar structures. There were some language slips like he don't do anything, he doesn't do anything, or he didn't do anything. Bad vibes. You can say bad vibes because it's not a singular noun. Bad vibes. Before to make any connection, before making. After before, when we don't have a sentence, you can have verb plus ing. So you can say before making any connection. I get back to the vocabulary, and I loved the very good vocabulary that you have applied, like you labeled him. Labeled is a very good figurative language. I love the word. You were able to recycle languages from the video, and that's really awesome. The word that you were trying to pronounce, it's bullied, and you added a rephrasing to some statements that made you speak the language and made you reflect. So these are the comments before making any connection. Bullied, bad vibes, he doesn't do anything or he didn't do anything. Other than that, Miss Asma, thank you so much. I can see that in the first project you didn't have any mistakes, and I was telling you just keep shadowing, and I will keep my comment again. Keep shadowing, Asma. You did a great job. Bravo. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything. Wallahi, thank you.
Thank you, حبيبي. شكرا جدا. Well, I write down everything I want to say, and don't worry. If there is something that is urgent to be maybe said or clarified, I would have done it. Who's next? Miss Hoga Soleh, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
Um, I have watched Matthew McConaughey, great speech.
Good.
and,
Good.
and he is my favorite actor, by the way.
That is mine as well.
Yes, and it was really a very inspiring speech. Um, because Matthew tell us about his life experience that he had, and he started to tell us about that life is not easy, and we have to don't try to make it that way,
Mhm.
and don't fall into the entitlement trap of feeling like we are a victim, because simply we are not. So we have to get over it, and we also have to ask ourselves about the meaning of success. So this question is very important. What success is to me? Is it money? Is it healthy family, happy marriage, or even to be a famous one? So we have to keep asking this question to ourselves, because may change over time because we have different priorities in every stage in our life. But he keep telling us about whatever that the answer is, and we shouldn't be jeopardize ourselves, and we have to to find what we want to be, and don't spend time with anything that keep us make our character in a bad way or something
Mhm.
like this. And also to be brave. This is something very important. And but first we have to define the success for ourselves. So he said that the first step that we have to know who I am, not just who I am. I am. So
Good.
I know that who I am,
Mhm.
but I maybe most of us we don't know who I am not.
Mhm.
We have to find it first because he called it, and I like this title, the process of elimination. So we have to eliminate um, every thing that it can be harmful for us, like people, places, things, food, and every single thing that can harm us or can would just put us down.
Mhm.
So we have to eliminate it, and we have to just spend more time and more in more places that we can belong to, or we can be happy in it, or and just healthy for us and bring us more joy. So the process of elimination is just the meaning of to get rid of every thing that it can be not very healthy to us. And he concluded that by knowing who we are is hard, so we have to eliminate first who we are not, and you will find yourself where you need to be. And I like it so much.
Amazing.
Finished?
Very good. Great job. All right. So you were quite natural. I can say that you were, naturally giving a lot of insights or maybe recapping what you have watched. I believe this video is very insightful and very informative as well. You recycled a lot of ideas from the video. You were able to use different connectors because, who, and if. These are linking words were very useful. The thing that I loved the most about your presentation, Ms. Hagar, is the lexical resources. Being able to use a word like jeopardize, like eliminate. These are two advanced words, and the video would maybe help level up the vocabulary because the content is really good and you were able to recycle them. So you I think learn them in the best way. The best thing we learn, or maybe the best way we learn vocabulary is when we learn them from a context. That's why when I tell you guys keep shadowing, it's not just about repeating what other people are saying or gaining the fluency level. It's a gate for a lot of things that you can do. Of course, grammar, you are indirectly getting used to the grammar structures, the correct ones. So you are building strong knowledge of grammar without analyzing the grammar structure. Of course, not all the levels are up to this level. Your level is up to it. The second thing, vocabulary. When I see you using words like jeopardize, refrain, eliminate, these words, if I've given you a word list and I've done that before, I know the efficiency of learning. What makes you use it is that you have seen it being used. So when you see it in a context, when you look it up, when you know the meaning, when you recycle it, you listen to the video one more time or you watch the video one more time. So you get to feel like, I understand the word now and you can use it easily. So you did it the right way and I'm so proud of it. The grammar accuracy, Ms. Hagar, also that you had, I didn't spot any grammar mistakes. I love that you highlighted most of the aspects we had in this video. This video actually is my favorite. I watch it, every now and then whenever I'm down. So I haven't had any grammar sorry, I haven't had any grammar mistakes, any mispronounced words. And I would just ask you to keep shadowing because, mashallah, it's affecting you, it's helping you, and it will do also in the future. So thank you so much, Miss Hogar. No grammar mistakes, no
Thank you,
pronunciation
Mrs. Rock.
mistakes.
Thank you.
So much appreciated there. Who's next? Miss Rasha, go ahead. Hello.
Hello.
You're Miss Rasha Mitwali, is that right?
Yes, right.
Beautiful.
I would like to talk about raise our focus.
Mhm.
The video title is how to get our how to get our main our brain focus.
Okay,
Sorry.
relax.
Okay.
Focus.
Okay. Okay. They okay. Some of us may observe something that makes us uncomfortable.
Mhm.
That our life is a series of screens.
Mhm.
We bouncing around between we bouncing around between a bunch of different applications. So we are wasting more time on this thing more than anything else.
Mhm.
So that is dastardly thing. When we get rid of this phone, we will observe three curious things happen.
Mhm.
First, our attention span will be grow. In addition to this, we will have more idea, and on top of this, we will have more plans. There are over hundreds researches about how does technology influence our focus span and our extension expand and our ability to focus.
Mhm.
The results is fascinated. نقول ايه كمان okay about from researches results we know the root cause of this case
Mhm.
is our brain is our brain overstimulated.
Mhm.
Not distraction, but when our brain overstimulated, we crave distraction.
Mhm.
So when we when we get rid the phone, we we get this benefits, these benefits. Okay, can you, okay, there are a mechanism in our mind that rewards us when we get this stimulations
Mhm.
with by with bit us bit hit sorry, this mechanism rewards us with a bit of dopamine. And it rewards us for seeking out and finding distraction in the
Mhm.
first place. Um, okay.
Mhm.
This mechanism called the novelty bias. Okay. Oh, so when we if we let mind let attention wander, it can it can able to get more idea. So we must make something doesn't consume full attention, our
Mhm.
full attention
Mhm.
to like shower, like walking, um, waiting in lines. In this time, our mind will wander, and so and and our attention span will be extended and make more plans and more idea. That's it.
Very beautiful.
Sorry.
Very good. How do you feel?
أنا متوترة جدا يعني
I
أول
I
مرة يعني.
I can tell. I can tell. That's okay. Don't worry.
Thank
It
you.
was
Okay.
amazing. Just relax. طيب, first of all, I loved it that you have been able to use different linking words like how, that, when. Very good. You started the presentation with a lot of, emotional intensity. So you were extremely anxious, but you managed to emotionally stay stable. So I loved that you, despite the fact that you were quite anxious, and I'm so much aware of what it takes to be anxious and worried while presenting something in your second language. It's a different cognitive load. I believe all people who've been anxious today, they're sweating, their hands are a bit shaking, you feel like nauseous, you would like to throw up sometimes. So I understand this because I have been there a million times. I have done it a million times. And the last time I did it was, like days ago when I presented at the Nile TESOL, sorry, at the ILACE. I know what it takes, sorry, to present something in your second language, even if you think that she's a language teacher, she's been doing this for so long, she doesn't struggle. It's not about the language, basically. If you're speaking, I mean, if I took you now and I divided you into breakout rooms, I ask people now, speak to each other about anything. You wouldn't feel the same emotional overwhelm. You wouldn't feel the same cognitive load. You wouldn't be sweating because I'm not observed, I'm not assessed, I'm not evaluated. That's the first thing. Second thing, I've done it several times. I mean, the breakout room, and they are okay. So it's the same thing about presentation. Presentation in itself, it's about the emotional um, overwhelm, the emotional pressure. And it's the thing that I like to add to make you experience it, because it's also the interview that you're about to go through. It's also the presentation that you're about to do at work. It's each and every new situation you experience with the English language. The good thing about it, it's an emotional thing, so it doesn't have to affect the language. The bad thing about it, it does affect the language. So what is maybe the way out, how to reduce the anxiety and the worry? Do not hesitate to put yourself where you are not comfortable. Do not hesitate to place and put and position yourself where you're not comfortable. Do not think twice about it. Just throw yourself where you are not ready, where you're not sure, where you're not confident. Try new things with the English language. Every time you are being invited to join maybe a free conversation class, just go and do it. Every time you have the chance to speak to your students or to the people that you work with in English, just do it. Every time you are about to present something and you try to do it in English in order to try something new, just do it. Try to make use of each and every opportunity, because the English language, it's about a huge adventure in your life, and you've got to make it adventurous. It's not safe practice. It's not about pen and paper. It's not about reading books. It's not about speaking to the wall every time. You might be speaking to the wall fluently. You might be native, like native speaker, speaking to the wall, speaking to yourself. But once you're being included or involved in a situation where there are a lot of people, where there is someone who speaks English, you forget all about the fluency level you had with the wall. So it's about experiencing new things. That is a new perspective that I like to add by the end of the course, because if you adopt it, that guarantees forever or everlasting application for the English language. Every time you have the chance to apply it or to use it, you would go for it. So this is the English language, and this is what it takes. So I understand what people usually feel. However, I never stop. I never stop placing myself where I'm not comfortable. I never stop applying for presentations. I never stop applying for jobs that I'm not interested in, just to experience the interview again, just to get some insights into my language again. And by the way, the language that I'm using with my students, the very confident and relaxed language that you might admire, cannot be sometimes the same when I'm being evaluated or assessed. For example, I was talking to a professor, a college professor, and she was reviewing my language because I was assigned to do some IELTS speaking exams with some candidates, and she wants to double check my language, sub skills, the grammar and vocabulary, and so on. So I know I'm being assessed right now. I was quite anxious. Maybe that didn't affect my language because I practice it, alhamdulillah, every day. So it's in use all the time. But you know what? Sometimes we make mistakes. That's fine. Um, I'm so happy and proud about your bravery. The good lexical resources Ms. Rasha used, I love the vocabulary. I loved that you recycled a lot of ideas from the video. In addition to, is a good transition. And let me give you a piece of advice. Sometimes you pause and you don't know what to say, and then you start a new maybe point in the presentation. That sudden pause that happens in the middle of your talk is just like of transitions, something like in addition to. So when you're done discussing a point, you can say, now we can move to, well, now we speak about furthermore, moreover, as you said, in addition to this, besides, so the awkward pauses that you have in the middle of your speech, not just for Ms. Rasha, for all the people, it's lack of transitioning. So remember when we spoke about SWOT analysis and we were trying to connect the 4 different areas of the SWOT analysis, we were trying to add linking words and transitions, however, besides furthermore. So what connects the dots is these words, transition. So in case you were wondering how to speak, normally, or not to have those sudden blackouts. No grammar mistakes, no repeated grammar mistakes, just two errors that weren't repeated. You said more idea, but the next time you said more plans, so it's more ideas. Our brain overstimulated. Our brain is overstimulated, and that brings me to the very positive point is that you were able to use the passive voice. That is really good. You've been quite organized. The thing that I love the most is your vocabulary: to crave, to stimulate, root cause, fascinating. These are good words. So thank you so much for using them. I think these are all the things. So for the sudden poses, more linking words, and these are the two grammar mistakes. طيب. Maybe the thing that we need to work on the most, Miss Russia, is the poses. I of course understand it's the emotional overwhelm, it's the emotional stress and pressure, but we can work on this again. So I want you keep practicing. So there are two practices: the 10-minute talk. I have said that before. I'm repeating my feedback. The 10-minute talk, keep it as long as you can. Do it wherever you are. Just speak about anything. Speak about whatever is surrounding you. Maybe you can be whispering to yourself, but keep the language running. And the second thing, shadowing. Do not stop shadowing. Thank you so much, Miss Russia. Beautiful. So thankful for the great efforts. Amazing. All right. I don't know who to choose. Is Miss Shahd Khalid ready?
Hello, Miss Isra.
Hello, Miss Shahd.
Hello. Okay.
Go ahead.
Start. We're gonna focus on the topic of how to manage our time more effectively. Obviously, time management is the main thing for everyone. Moreover, the time is wasted with everyone, with people around, and I realized this through seeing them in front of me. I mean very busy people who work 16 or 18 hours daily, in addition to existing another people, those who doesn't work, but they have a lack of time. After that, in my point of view, those who wanna do something, they already do. For example, um, for example, planning to spend a good time vacation. If you plan well and insist on, will find time. Also, the woman who had the family commitments, if she decided to meet her friend or going to the club for her children, she'll find time. Also, there was a scene if you did one thing for 20 days continuously, you would perform it every day, all over the year. For example, a call for your mother every day. Also, we can't make more time, but time will stretch to accommodate what we choose to put into it. The key is treating our priorities. I don't have time is often means it's not a priority. How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. Last but not least, time management skills. Using free time smartly, self motivation, decision making. Using free time smartly, time to relax, but you need to be productive with your free time too. Secondly, prioritizing. Always more to do than time, so we have to prioritize. Delegating and outsourcing. Allow yourself to delegate the work that's not a top priority. Goal setting. You can't reach a destination if you don't know where you're going, or self awareness. Um, Planning and scheduling. Um, saves time, boosts productivity. Learn to say no, set boundaries, and respect your time and plans.
Mhm.
Finally, self-discipline. Learning, practicing self-discipline is a lifelong process. I'm done.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Shad. Very good. Okay.
Thank you.
Since you started very confident, quite natural using the language, the thing that I love the most is how you pronounce, no pronunciation mistakes, mashallah, and very clear pronunciation features, different grammar structures. So I haven't spotted any grammar mistakes, who, if, and variety of complex structures and compound. In addition to this, linking words and transitions, you added your opinion and you added some examples to clarify some points. So these two were very useful. You recycled a lot of vocabulary and ideas from the video. And the vocabulary that I love the most is to delegate and accommodate. These are two good words. The passive voice as an advanced grammar structure, and you've been quite organized. Inshallah, very positive. Read less.
Read,
Less.
read less. Okay,
I loved, I
okay.
don't know if you were doing out of an
I'm sorry.
anxiety.
I'm sorry for doing that, but I think if I do it without reading, I'll be more hesitated and more confused.
Of course, because it's speaking. That's why I'm expecting poses.
Yes.
So don't worry, it's okay. Yeah, and try to do some free speaking out of any preparation because yeah, I understand that how the pen and paper helps and supports, but again, as I said before, put yourself where you're not comfortable. I know that this will maybe lead you to some sort of being hesitant or hesitation or poses. It's so much expected that it's a normal maybe stage that you should go through. So never worry about it. This is something normal. Do it several times. Thank you so much, Shad. Keep shadowing and keep talking to the wall. Keep talking to yourself. Keep talking to your friends. And I recommend, guys, if you maybe reach out to each other, to the maybe ladies in the in your class, and try to build some sort of small groups. Meet every maybe week and try to speak for each for the people that you have maybe known from the course. That is going to be useful, and you can use the material. You can use the. I also am going to send you some resources you can use for free speaking. So that would be very good. Thank you so much, Miss Shahd.
Thanks, Mrs. Shaw.
Amazing. Miss Dora, where is she? Yes, Miss Dora Sayed. Sayed or Saeed? Unmute yourself, my dear.
Yes, dear. I'm not
Hello.
really ready, but I have to go, so I have to do
You
it
are
now.
ready. Go ahead.
Inshallah. Okay. Yeah, it's my pleasure to have you today in my first lecture about raising productivity.
Inshallah.
Yeah, so honestly, we live in a very difficult time in our lives. So that I can say that we live time of turmoil, as we are really surrounded with a lot of interruptions that have consequences leading to tremendous loss at the increase our level of stress and also undermine our happiness. So I have a question for you. How many times do you have a call during in your well-deserved weekend? I'm quite sure that it's a huge number of times, as we all have convinced ourselves that it's not a big deal to do so. However, it has been proved that they affect our productivity and also our performance in a very negative way. So what about being proactive and putting some small strategies or tips or rules that we can apply in order to better protect our time? Number one is to reframe rest. We need to find ways in which we can enjoy the present moments, and there is strategies to make that. And I have two today for you. Number one is you treat your upcoming holiday weekend as a holiday or as a vacation. So jot down what you would do if you were on a holiday, as going out with your partner to attend a film, or going for a long walk without a phone or even agenda. Your plan doesn't have to be very expensive or extravagant. Number two, or strategy number two that I have today, is to create clear boundaries for your time off. As saying, I'll be offline, call me only if it's urgent, instead of saying, I'm out of the office, text me whenever. Yeah. Point number two is to set team goals for personal time. Do it publicly, hold each other accountable, work together to help accomplish personal goals. These goals sounds like I'll have dinner with my family 4 nights a week, or I'll check my email between 6 and 8 p.m., sorry, and so on. Number three is to negotiate for more time in order to prevent work creeping into your personal life. As we all use to negotiate for salaries, but we don't use to negotiate for more time. Although you can avoid being in a crunch time if you do so. So don't worry about reputation, as it was also proven that quality is the metric that matters most. As proven, employees who proactively asked for more time reported less or lower level of stress and burnout, and also were seen as more committed and professional by their colleagues. So these were small things that you can apply in order to better protect your time and raise your productivity. Thank you.
Bravo, 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 bravo. Very good. MashaAllah.
Thank you, dear.
Overall, the thing that I loved, or the thing that I cannot wait to speak about, is that you exploited having this maybe time to present, to start reflecting also on the vocabulary you learned somewhere else. So crunch time, proactive, and proactively, several times you've been using them. So that is amazing. So blending the learning outcomes. For example, you are maybe doing now 10-minute daily practice or 10-minute self-practice. You're speaking to yourself. It doesn't have to be meaningless. It doesn't have to be just mere speaking. It can be targeted towards the vocabulary that you have learned before. So it's a time for you to speak. It's a time for you to recycle what you've learned before. And that was excellent. Very smart, very confident, very natural. I love the vocabulary overall. Tremendous loss, undermine, turmoil, the intonation of presenting, present perfect, advanced grammar structure, however, and although complex is structured, clear pronunciation features overall, no pronunciation mistakes at all, the passive voices and advanced grammar structures, proactive and crunch time, refrain, very good vocabulary, quite organized, moving from one sentence to the other one, from one idea to the other one. Your ideas are developed. Excellent fluency level. The part of having, she is, while you're watching her, she doesn't have to be exactly copying someone who's been living maybe in US or in UK for so many years. No, she's using her normal language, but I mean the fluency level is that she's given herself time to form the ideas on her head, and of course with a lot of rehearsals she managed to have no pauses detected, and the normal transitionings are happening using the linking words and transitions, using the word creeping into, that's a very good word, extravagant also, that's an excellent recycling process for the vocabulary and the ideas. It's one of the best presentations, wallahi. Thank you so much. I'm so happy and proud of it. You're amazing.
It's all thanks to you. Really, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's
Your support,
amazing.
dear.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Sora.
Thank you,
Oh
dear.
my God. Beautiful. I'm the happiest. I don't want to bring you any more anxiety, but Miss Marlin, are you ready?
I feel butterflies in my stomach.
That is an answer.
I'm so afraid, but
But how do
I
you feel
try.
after seeing a lot of, mashallah, good examples today? Like, it's doable.
They are they are more beautiful and more clever.
So you
Excellent
are.
for them. I hope.
Let's do it, Miss Marlin.
Okay. Today I talk about the topic. It's about how to succeed in life. First, Michelle Obama gives advice for students, and I think it's this advice useful um, for anyone. First, she asked, "How are you gonna be?" and how they plan to live life every day.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Relax.
and sorry, um, and ask the teachers what they gonna um, respond if the students in the class don't respond their lessons.
Mm-hmm.
No, I made mistakes. And for a businessman or businessmen, if they have a problem in their work and if their manager asks them and give them a goal that feels way too high.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then she said she not asked about the times when they feel good mood and have permission and the teachers when in the day you win teacher of the year. But the time when they forced to enclave to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The moments when you get knocked down and you're wondering whether it's even worth it to get back up. I just read. Okay. Uh, Also, she said in recent years, we have actually been seeing growing body of research. It's the more important thing to develop research that shows that skills like resilience and consciousness. Uh, it's more important for success.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we have seen that if we are willing to dig deep, if you're willing to pick up when you fall, really, I think when we know the point to which we fall down in it and work to develop our weaknesses, it becomes strength and develop a set of skills that we can apply in any situation that we don't we unexpected. Also, if we have we want a job that we hope to arrive. At the end, she asked, uh, everyone, what the kind of person you are. Are you hard worker? If anyone want to work in a good uh, in a good way and make his work in a good way. Also, are you reliable person? You can do the work uh, which the manager wants you to do
Good.
in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Also, can you serve your country and your community, and can you be able to a proactive person in your country? Uh, these things um, need need a quality to be a good one in your work and to arrive to your dreams. Uh, these these values we can learn we learned from our parents the best, and this makes our community grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's what the world needs at the end. I'm sorry.
How do you feel now?
I'm not satisfied more about myself.
Is it that difficult? Is it as difficult as you expected?
It's not difficult, but I feel hesitated more. If I write it, I and be better.
Of course, I understand preparation helps and supports, but you know, when you speaking, even if when you have pauses or when you have difficulty to move from one idea to the other one, you manage to do it, even if for a few minutes at the beginning, and then you move to the papers to rest yourself assured or to calm yourself down, and then you went back to the speaking. It's not that difficult. You can do it. You have all the language that you need. You have the needed grammar, the needed vocabulary, Miss Marlin. I'm talking to you about you. So
Yeah.
you, as Marlin, you are ready to do it. So the psychological barrier, الحاجز النفسي, that maybe we have it due to lack of confidence or lack of practice. It's not about practice, it's about confidence. I don't believe I do it. You have got to change this because you can do it. You did it. And even if you didn't do it the best way, there is something called perfectionism or being perfectionist. When you are a perfectionist, you hold a visionary and imaginary um, assumption about your language level. I imagine myself to speak the language this amazing way, this uninterrupted way, this easy way. So when your mind is so much attached to the imaginary assumption, تخيل الافتراضي ده, you stop yourself because you say, if it's not this, what I imagine, if it's not that perfect, it's nothing. So you start maybe underestimating the good points that you have, the good things that you can do, that you can speak, even if there are pauses, you can use language, you can use the grammar and vocabulary very well. You have clear pronunciation features, you can move from one idea to the other one. So sometimes we are victims, or we are somehow victimizing ourselves when we think about that beautiful level. That beautiful level is reachable, but in order to reach it, You've got to feel so much uncertain. You've got to go through the bad process that we are doing right now to practice doing it several times. Let me tell you the good things, because you need to know them and you need to feel a bit confident about your language level. First of all, when you started the presentation, I haven't spotted any an anxiety or worry. You were, to me, very confident. You were very natural. Then it maybe got hold of you, سيطر عليك الworry قوي، وبعدين you managed to relax yourself. How, if, and, when, which, what. اللي انا عايزه اقوله، لما الانسان بيكون متوتر ما بيعرفش يستخدم linking words، ما بيعرفش اصلا يكون جمل. فان انت تقدر ان انت تسيطر على قلقك وتوترك بالشكل اللي يخليك تستخدم جمل، فانت قلقك وتوترك ما وقفش language production. Even if you felt it. على فكرة انت ممكن تحس بقلق وتوتر جواك وما يأثرش على اللغة تماما ولا يغير في اللانجوج بتاعتك حاجة. ده امتى بيحصل؟ when you put yourself where you're not comfortable several times. لما تجرب ده أكتر من مرة هتفهم يعني ايه ان انا اكون قلقان والناس اللي حواليا ما عرفتش حاجة عن قلقي. knock yourself down. مفيش حد الآن بيقول كده. passive voice several times. intonation كويسة قوي. the consciousness. dig deep. pick up. phrasal verbs حلو قوي. you added a conclusion. proactive citizen. very good. You added linking words away from الوقفات اللي هي كانت بسبب القلق. You did a great job. You need to give yourself more time, or you deserve, as a learner, you deserve other learning opportunities to know more about how you can do it, because you did it the right way. كلمة reliable. Let's repeat it. reliable.
Reliable.
مش ريالا. Relaya.
Okay.
Relaya.
Liar.
Very good. Reliable.
Liar.
You said she
Reliable.
not ask. She doesn't ask. She's not asking. She didn't ask. عشان not doesn't stand on itself. If their manager asks them, subject verb agreement ما تكررش. في حتة كده متحمس فيها قلت لك برافو عشان ما حصلش فيها subject verb agreement. If their manager asks them or asked them, ما كانش فيه غلطات تانية، ما كانش فيه mistakes تانية. Miss Marlene did a great job and I'm so proud of it. يعني لما بشوف دي مثلا البرودكشن ده والنوتس اللي أنا كتبتها عنك بعد أول سيشن وبعد أول مرة اتكلمنا واتساب، عرفت ان انا قدامي حد قلقان قوي عنده language. يعني هي مش مسألة knowledge، هي مسألة ان انا فعلا خايف ومتوتر وقلقان. وكان الموضوع معاكي واصل انه حتى الكلاس participation مش فكرة presentation ولا حاجة، لا ده الكلاس participation كانت صعبة. بس جه بعد فترة من الصمت كده انت قررتي لوحدك، ودي حاجة انت لازم تعرفيها عن نفسك. انت حد لما بيعوز حاجة بيعملها. قررتي انه انا لا هرفع ايدي raise my hand وهشارك، هرمي نفسي. فشاركتي، عملتي 2 participations. كنت قلقانه فيهم جدا ومتوتره وكانوا شورت، وانتي صوتك وانتي بتتكلمي كنت متوتره، بس انتي جربتي ان انا هتكلم النهارده. قررت ان انا هتكلم. البروجكت الاولاني كان بالنسبه لي حلو قوي، كان بس فيه جرامر ميستيكس كتيره. قلت لك ذاكري الجرامر ميستيكس واعملي سيلف 10 minute توك واعملي شادوينج. بالنسبه لي هنا مفيش جرامر ميستيكس لان دول غلطتين ما تكرروش. لما بقول في جرامر ميستيك معناها ان الغلطه دي فضلت اتكررت كتير، فده جرامر ميستيك احنا محتاجين نذاكره. لكن بتبقى مره او مرتين وما بيتكررش، يعني عرفت تقول مثلا حاجه زيها مشابهه لنفس الجرامر ميستيك بس صح، فده مش فوسيلايزد، يعني مش بحسبه ميستيك، لازم ما يتكررش. فلما ما يتكررش خلاص، هي بالنسبه لي ما عنديش الجرامر ميستيكس دي. وعملت البروجكت الاولاني وعملت البروجكت الثاني، وانا يعني لو هقيم البروجكت ده فهديله 8 يا ستي من 10 علشان خاطر شويه البوزس والقلق اللي في الاول. لكن you
Thank
did
you,
it.
Mrs. Sarah.
لا, it's not about thanking me. I should thank you for being who you are, and it's something that I need to acknowledge that you are a perfect student, an awesome learner. You've got the spirit of a learner. كملي مذاكرة وما تزهقيش، واعرفي ان انتي ماتيريال حلوة جدا للlearning يا مس مارلين والله. فكملي
I
وما
will
تخافيش.
cry now. I will cry.
لا ما تعيطيش. ما تعيطيش ما تخافيش.
حقيقي مس إسراء مش عارفة أشكر حضرتك إزاي بجد، يعني حضرتك بتشجعيني جدا، ولو
تستاهلي
فعلا
ده.
زي ما بتقولي في حاجة اتغيرت بجد ده هيبقى بعد تشجيع حضرتك
العفو.
والتيم كله بجد
العفو
يعني.
والله. العفو
أشكر
والله،
حضرتك.
شغلكم انتوا، مذاكرتكم انتوا، احنا بنقدم الكورس ده لناس كتيره جدا، مش كل الناس بنوصل معاها للنتيجه اللي احنا عايزينها. فالتزامك والديديكيشن ومحاولات اللي انا قادره ما بين 60 طالب ان انا اقول لك انت عملتي في المره دي كذا كذا كذا. ف being distinguishing ان انت
أيوة.
تكون اللي انت عملته يكون لسه الانستراكتور فاكر وبيتراك يو، ده بسبب ان شايف انك بتعمل حاجه حقيقيه. فانت محتاجه تعرفي ان انت فعلا you did a great job و I am grateful for your work. شكرا جدا يا مس مارلين.
Thank you
Thank you
Mrs.
حبيبي. Thank you so much. يا مس نوران. Where are you?
I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm not sure I'm ready because I saw that you were going to send it on Telegram.
I saw your
So I
message.
was
No, it's a live session. I said that عملت announcement في الآخر recorded session. Have you watched it?
no, I didn't because I was traveling and I didn't
Mm.
have time and I didn't have Wi-Fi. So
طب are you ready to present?
I tried to collect my thoughts about the video. I watched the video only one time.
Let's do it.
So I will try.
يلا بينا.
I chose to talk about or to watch the video that's talking about stress management.
Mhm.
I chose the video how to make stress your friend. And she was talking about, in general, the main idea. She was talking about changing your mindset so you could make stress your friend as the title of the video said.
Mhm.
So she firstly talked about our usual mindset about stress and how we view it as an enemy for us and how that affects our mind and our body and how it reacts to our mindset about stress. So she was trying to show us that it's all about our mindset, not about the stress itself.
Mhm.
And she also talked about some studies that showed that people who see stress as an enemy and it will hold them down and not help them at all, they have a prematurity death rate. But in my opinion, she talked about two studies, I think, as I remember, and both of them were conducted in America. So I don't think that this is enough to change. She talked about how these studies changed her mindset about stress and what she thought about stress before.
Mhm.
Because she's a psychologist. So I think maybe they need to do more studies. She can't just rely on two studies that were conducted only in America, not other countries.
Mhm.
But secondly, also she talked about what? How stress affects our blood vessels and how is that associated with cardiovascular diseases.
Mm.
And she also talked about a study that had two groups. One of them views stress as an enemy, as I said, and the other group sees the stress as something that helps them, and they try to like when they feel stressed, they try to make it a good thing. Try to make stress affect them in a good way, not in a bad way. And the group that views stress as an enemy had a much higher rate of cardiovascular diseases. So she all of this time she was trying to show us how stress and our mindset affects very does a very huge effect on our body. not just our mind. And she also talked about oxytocin and how it's released when we feel stress. And I think for me, I usually thought that oxytocin only was released when we feel happy or we feel the closeness of the people around us. But she said that it's also released when we feel stress. So it can push us to ask for help and ask for help from people around us that we feel that we trust them, so they could help us to reduce our stress and make us feel better. So that's something I didn't know about oxytocin. And in the end, or the main thing that I got out of the video, that we can make stress our friend, as she said, by changing our mindset and asking or being more interactive with the people around us. And we can view stress as a friend by trying to remind ourselves that it's trying to help us and protect us. It's not working against us, it's working with us, not against us. So yeah, and last two things I want to say, that I learned that oxytocin has a nickname as the cuddle hormone. I didn't know that.
The what?
And the cuddle hormone.
Couple?
Cuddle hormone.
Cuddle? Allah, that's
Yeah.
easy because I love that.
And she used an expression, bottling it up. And I like this expression very much because it shows how we can really bottle our emotions up. So yeah, I wanted to mention that. That's it.
Very good. Thank you, Nuron. Despite the fact that you hadn't had a lot of time to prepare, you managed to do it very well, ya Nuron. Wallahi, that was very good. First of all, it's quite organized, and it's something we do not guarantee if we are doing it very fast, but you managed to do it in a very organized way, firstly. Secondly, okay, but how you have tendency to use the compound structure. You've been quite confident, very natural using the language. No grammar mistakes. Only one, she was trying, but no repeated grammar mistakes. Organized, as I said before, no significant pauses, no, no, you can smoothly move from one idea to the other one. So you are at a great fluency level. You added your opinion and you gave yourself time to reflect on both some items of vocabulary, like the expression and the idea itself of what you have learned from the video. So that was very good. There are three things that we need to work on for the future shadowing practice. So while you're shadowing, you keep your eye on three things: the P sound in people and happy, the sound in they and that, the th sound in think. So sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. So it seems like it's the fluctuation of the accuracy in these pronunciation features. Maybe need a bit more self-practice and need a bit of evaluation or assessment. So when you shadow, the next time you shadow, you are so much attentive to these areas of pronunciation or these pronunciation features. Other than that, inshallah, great grammar level, very good vocabulary. The fluency is the thing that I admire the most, because I didn't expect that fluency level, because you're doing it without a lot of preparation. But sometimes people don't need that preparation process. They just do it spontaneously, and it's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Nuron. This is really good.
Thank you.
Bravo.
I have something to say. Sorry.
Go ahead.
In the weekly calls and the daily tasks that we used to do, I got a lot of comments about the sound, and I still don't know what I'm doing wrong. So
can you pronounce the word THAT?
What?
Say the word THAT. Can you say it?
THET?
AT.
Z-A-T, that.
Yes. There is a there is connection between the upper and lower teeth. When I say that, it's different from that.
Yes, I think the second is more correct.
Yes. So you haven't seen my teeth, but the sound is different. That's how the teachers know. When I say think, it's different from think. فصوت الذ والذ والث اللي هو الزد والاس عبارة عن الابر واللور تيث بيخبطوا بعض او بيلمسوا بعض، فبيبقى فيه ده مختلف عن لما اللسان يسيبريت الابر واللور تيث ويقول عامل ازاي. اللي انت محتاجه تعمليه هي cautious practice او conscious practice، تكتبي الكلمات اللي انت حصل فيها the sound زي that these those، خليكي بطيئه خالص، واللي انت عايزه توصلي للاكيورسي بتاعه الصوت ده. لان خدي بالك في ناس بيبقى لسانها قصير مش قادره توصل للنقطه دي، فهل انت لسانك مش قادر يوصل لما بين سنانك اللي فوق واللي تحت؟
نعم.
تمام. فهي بس مسألة practice، العضلة محتاجة تتدرب أكتر على الموضوع ده، فتفضلي تعملي that these those 5 دقايق مثلا، وغيري على الساوند التاني th sound think thin thought thumb، فاهماني ازاي Thursday. طيب بعدين خلاص عملتي البراكتس البسيطة دي، تيجي بقى وانت بتعملي shadowing، بتكوني وانت بتصححي الشادوينج بتاعك او انت بتبصي على الشادوينج بتاعك بتشوفي هي ولا ثانية ولا هي ولا عملي ازاي صوت الفرق واضح، والحاجة اللي انت محتاجة تعمليها ان انت تستخدمي طرف اللسان ما بين السنان اللي فوق واللي تحت.
انا كنت قلت لمس افلام متهيألي مش فاكره ان انا اساسا وانا في العربي عندي لسه، فانا السين الصاد الحاجات دي بالنسبه لي نفس الحاجه. يعني انا العربي اصلا ما بعرفش انطقها كويس، ما بعرفش انطقها صح، فانا مش عارفه هل دي نفس الحاجه يعني اجيب اب اصلا، ولا هي ممكن تتظبط في الانجليش؟ يعني هل هي ساوند تاني مختلف؟ انا مش عايزه اجيب اب، يعني هي لو ممكن حاجه انا اتمرن عليها اقدر اعملها في الانجليش اعملها، يعني مش
طب
هيبقى انجليش وعربي.
خليني اسمعها، قوليها مثلا that و think، قولي الاثنين كده.
that think
بس انت محتاجه براكتس عليهم اكتر. لا هي يعني اعتقد ملهاش علاقه بالعربي، يعني هي مش لدغه. يعني مثلا الناس اللي عندها لدغه في الث ساوند فبيقول مثلا لو كلمة think اللي هي يغرق بيقولها think غصب عنه، فأنا مش عارفة أغير فيها حاجة، فاهماني؟ لكن عندك مش لدغة، هي اللي عندك مسألة بس إنه الساوند ده مش قوي كفاية تعود، فأنت محتاجة بس تتعودي عليه أكتر، لكن مش حاجة ملهاش علاقة بالعربي. ادوني دقيقة كده. طيب are there any other participants who are ready to present? احنا we covered Miss رشا، Miss شهد خالد، سارة سيد، مارلين، أسماء عيد، هاجر صلاح. هاجر صلاح هاجر هارون برضو صح كده؟ أنا حاسة سألتك السؤال ده كتير. تخيل هي بعيدة عن الموبايل. نوران، محمد سعيد left. يس حبيبي thank you. مس سهى سعداوي وام we're done. أنا كنت حاسس إن احنا هنخلص بدري. ماشي. أنا الأول عايزة أشكركم كتير على الديديكيشن وعلى مثابرتكم وعلى learning journey الجميلة دي. I was so grateful teaching you. I learned from you as much as you learned from the course, and I want to send يعني our best wishes from all the team. دكتور أسماء, Miss Moga, coordinator, Miss Afnan, also Miss Minna, and Miss Hadir Sabri, Miss Ruaya. They are all grateful that you have been so constant, that you have been trying so hard. مثابرتكم والديديكيشن بتاعكم بيدينا sense of purpose. احنا بنعمل ده ليه؟ علشان خاطر الناس عايزة تتطور، ودي حاجة احنا شفناها معاكم، وكنتوا يعني best students بصراحة و you were excellent examples. We need to thank you so much first of all. Second of all, I need to tell you that the learning process does not stop. لازم تكمل. وكل الناس اللي أنا شفتها النهاردة وكل الناس اللي اتكلمت معاها النهاردة عليكم بالshadowing. shadowing يا جماعة هو الجيت اللي بتخليك تستخدم كلمات زي accommodate و delegate والكلمات اللي انت لو قعدت تحفظها ورقة وقلم بره ما ساعات افتكر ساعات لا. فتعمل shadowing وتتكلم تتكلم تعمل 10 minutes self practice. اللي انت محتاجه مني انت محتاج resources. انا دلوقتي هشارك معاكم resources ليها علاقة بكل حاجة grammar vocabulary listening reading. شوف انت حابب تبتدي منين. لكن البراكتس الأولى والأخيرة اللي ليها علاقة بالسبيكينج واللي تطور لك الحاجات اللي ليها علاقة بالسبيكينج سواء بقى grammar vocabulary pronunciation ideas fluency كل الباكج دي مع بعضها هي الشادوينج. فانت محتاج برضو shadowing resources وده انا هشارك معاكم الشادوينج resources. شادو الاكسنت اللي انت عايز تكتسبها. شادو الاكسنت اللي انت عايز تكتسبها. بلاش تعمل shadowing لاكسنت انت مش مهتم بيها. موضوع الاكسنت مش اساسي زي ما اتكلمنا فيه لكن من كتر practicing الشادوينج انت هتبتدي تكتسب الاكسنت. put yourself where you're not comfortable again. حاولوا دايما ان انتوا تعملوا groups وتتكلموا مع بعض. تعملوا calls مع حد بالانجلش. I was so pleased teaching you this level. وحقيقي متشكرة ليكم جدا وبإذن الله أشوفكم مرة تانية على خير بإذن الله. Thank you so much. Miss وئام خليني أبعتها لك طيب recorded voice note يا Miss وئام. حاضر.
Thank you Miss إسراء.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much my
بجد
dear.
أنا كنت confused جدا وأنا بسمع الشادوينج لأن أنا بحسها بجد بتقول كلام لأن بروح أخد الكلمة على الديكشنري زي تكسد دي أنا متأكدة هي بتقولها تكسد وهي على الديكشنري مش كده والرول مش كده. فأنا
ما هو
بجد هبقى
ده يخلينا
بستنى.
حتى يعني ايه احنا شويه لما كنا مثلا بنتعلم الانجليش فبنقول الناس اللي بتتكلم اللغه اللي هم الامريكان والبريتش هم خلاص اكتر ناس بيعرفوا يتكلموا اللغه فهم يعني مش تحت التقييم لكن هم they are actually. وارد ودي كيس. طيب هل الكيس دي متكرره؟ لا مش للدرجه بس يعني دي حاجه حاصله يعني.
زي حاجة كمان زي مثلا كلمة interruptions أوقات تاكل التي ما تبينهاش ومرة
لا دي
تبينها.
American interruptions. ما لو قلت interruptions أو interruptions الاتنين صح ما فيش مشكلة. دي مش غلطة دي تمام.
بالظبط.
اختار الحاجة المريحة ليك. ما يعني انت لو شايف interruptions دي صعبة قوي عليك وانا عمري ما هقولها كده في conversation واختار الحاجة السهلة ليك. شوف الحاجة اللي انت بتعرف تنطقها بسهولة اشتغل على ده اعمل ده.
يعني أنا تقييمي ليها هي American accent من الار ساوند اللي بتقولها يعني أنا عارفة إن هي عارفة أقيم إن هي بتقول American accent بس الكلمة دي لا مضايقاني ما بتقولها
مضايقاني ثواني
بتقولها كده. ومتهيألي ان انا كنت شويه عايزه اعمل ان انا اعمل لها شادوينج وانا بعمل بريزنتنج. اعتقد ان انا لو كنت سبت نفسي ان انا اعبر عن افكاري انا كنت ادائي كان هيبقى احسن يعني.
كنت هيبقى الكونتنت اكتر عشان كده بتقولي الكومنتس مش كتيره لانه انت كنت ريستريكتد باللي هي قالته. فاهماني ازاي؟
عايزه فعلا اسمع حضرتك الكلمات اللي هي قالتها انا بقولها ازاي.
ايوه انا
لو
فاهمه. عشان
تفتكري
كده لما طلبتي مني الشادوينج قلت لك انا بس مش عايزه الشادوينج. انا عايزه ان انت تستفيض ويبقى ليك مساحه اكبر في الكلام. فعشان كده حسيت ان الشادوينج مش تبقى احسن حاجه بريزنت اكتر يعني. فما فيش مشكله هبعت لك الكومنتس بتاعتك دلوقتي على
شكرا
على الواتساب. ثانك يو يا مس وئام. شكرا لحضراتكم جميعا.